So what are your priorities as a councilwoman? We'll start there. You wear many hats these days,
yes.
so as a councilwoman.
So priorities as a councilwoman is to improve our neighborhood infrastructure. I think that in living in the city, I live on Fairgreen Avenue and right off of Belmont Avenue, and you go down my block, between the time I moved in to now, I've probably had 4 or 5 houses torn down. So it's a distressed area, but I have some stabilization around me. I'm not that far from Park Vista, with Crandall Park, Stanball. So I'm in a great part of the city, but there are pockets or streets with one house on it or a few houses where people are living in these big houses, and it's hard to, how do I take care of this big house? So you can't even really blame them, because you have a large house that may not be energy efficient, or a new homeowner, or we have a landlord who just puts you in a house, and sometimes they come and cut the grass, sometimes they don't. So you're just kind of living there. But improving that infrastructure. So we're going to be a little harder on landlords to make sure that they take care of their investments and take care of their tenants. We want my residents to know that if they call City Hall and they have a problem, whether it's with zoning or grass cutting, or a neighbor, that they're going to get some service. So all of that is really important to me, because my job as legislator is to make sure that the government has the laws to get things done for our community. But my job as councilwoman is to connect our community with the people who are going to get those things done. So we have a lot of the laws in place, but we got to start getting things done. So neighborhood infrastructure is extremely important, because some of it is just zoning, where there's been an abandoned car in someone's driveway for 4 years, and that's actually, it happened. There's I've been in a car in the driveway, and we find out that the guy actually does not have the means to move the car. The neighbor is worried about it. We have to go out, we have the bait for rodents, and it was like, we can move the car for you. Everybody's happy, and we get that done. So just making people feel good about their neighborhoods and their communities. Just wanting to look good, and that'll go a long way.
You were recently inducted as the first African-American president of the Rotary Club.
Yes.
And I think only the 6th woman president?
Yes. I'm the 104th president of the club, and here I am the first African-American. And mind you, I've been preparing for this. I've been in the chairs for 4 years. It just so happens to be this year of all of what's happening, all this unrest in us is happening, and here I am, the first president. So it's rewarding, and it feels good, and it feels right. I love my Rotary Club. I joined knowing that I was one of, at that point, I think there were 2 African Americans in the club, and every year it's usually about 2, but that was something I knew going in the door. And I never felt isolated, I never felt alienated, I always felt supported. I'm extremely supported in the group, and the club does so much great service. I'm just proud that they've selected me to go into the chairs and have trained me up to be the president of the club now. And this year, I want to do so much, and we were just talking about education, and education is one of the great things that Rotary Club of Youngstown does well and has done consistently for a lot of years. Of course, supporting the community at large with great works that we've done with Boys and Girls Club or Easter Seals, the horse show, Walk on Wick. We've done so many great things with the Rotary Club, but education has always kind of been that underlining thing that keeps us moving forward. And with the commitment to the city of Youngstown, I feel, and we're a political club, but of having all my hats on, if we can throw the type of support that we put behind our efforts behind the Youngstown City school system, we could grow the city of Youngstown, because I feel like that's kind of our Achilles heel. No one wants to bring a business in where they can't live, their children can't get an education, all of that. I can live in Youngstown, but I got to send my child out to Poland to go to school. No, we want you to be able to go to school here. So if we can, as a club, affect change, there with just the resources we have, just the people we have involved, bring people to the table, having strong conversations and pushing initiatives forward. I think that's going to be great. So that's one of my biggest things. And then of course, telling people about the great works of Rotary, because we want to grow our club, we want to grow our footprint. Our motto is, service above self, and that is something that I live by every day. You can catch me volunteering for a lot. It's how I got to where I am right now. It's just going out and being of service to people. So service above self is just amazing, and laying those up against our tenets, which is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Does it build goodwill and better friendships? And is it beneficial to all concerned? And if you put your task can answer yes to all those questions, then you're doing the right thing. And that's why I'm so proud to be a Rotarian. That's why I'm a Youngstown Rotarian.
What is your take on how Youngstown is weathering the kind of convergence of COVID-19 with the racial unrest and the push for racial justice in this country, when you look at our city maybe versus other parts of the country?
When it comes to COVID-19, I think we're doing okay. I really feel like we could do better, of course. Sometimes you go out and no one wants to wear their mask, and I'm one of them. Like I have, especially if I go out and have makeup on, I'm like, don't shake my hand, but you can hug me, like, just so we can I can control the see where the droplets are at least. But when it comes to COVID-19, I think there was a shock to the system, honestly, and even here, like in City Hall, it was, all right, now we have to work from home. And although as council, we are mobile, we're already mobile, we're ready to work mobilely, you could feel how are we going to get all of this done, and how do we maneuver and position people? You could definitely feel that in our correspondence and how we were going forward. So I don't think we were prepared for a digital shift. And like I said before, we should be prepared. We should have already been prepared. Like we should have been able to flip a switch and say, all right, you are working from home, and you have the capability, we have this, here you are, or you already have it. That mobility should be built in, just in the age in which we work, the age in which we live, excuse me. So I think that we weren't ready for that. And if that's true of this building, I know it's true of other offices where it was kind of like, oh wait, we're shut down.
Yeah.
Now what, So there was, even when you make a phone call and need something done, it was kind of like, give us some time, we are figuring it out. So you definitely had to be patient and show a lot of grace. But I think that slowly but surely, we as a community are kind of weathering this storm. Our service industry, though, I feel like is suffering, and the growth and development that we have, even in downtown this year, has taken a huge hit. Opening up a new amphitheater and then having to cancel all the shows.
I think that's scary when you are a person who's downtown a lot, and you see these restaurants and how seemed like one was opening after another, and plans for more to open, and now everything just has been sort of shuttered down here.
And that's the hardest thing for us to see. That's where we weren't ready to see that. We weren't ready to see all of this change is happening in downtown.
And is the city helping those businesses downtown to make sure that they're not closing for good?
So they are building our Community Planning and Economic Development Department is really working to make some changes in how they administer economic development services. They have recently done conversations with those local restaurants specifically, and I'll talk specifically about restaurants for a moment, to see how we can help assist them, how we can get the word out, what type of funding they need to keep going and move forward. But some people are at kind of a crossroads, and they may have already been at that crossroads in life and saying, well, this just showed me where I need to prioritize. So I think that we might lose some, but I don't think that it's going to be a mass exodus if we can continue to show support. I mean, we've had a new restaurant open on June 29th. Prima opens up in downtown Youngstown, and I went last night for dinner for the first time, and I was just kind of like, and I go in and they have partitions up, and all the servers are wearing masks, they temp you at the door, and it was just it was different, but it was a good experience. But then I look across the street where I go probably 3 or 4 times a week. I was at V2, and there are not many people there. There's no walking up and down the street going into the store. You know, the Minty Brothers, they weren't open. So it was a weird feeling and a weird vibe. And then knowing no concerts, you know, no festivals, no Italian fest, no oh wow. I mean, my son's a big oh wow kid. That's a hard hit for us, because we're building our community around people, and now people have to stay away from each other and from these establishments. And it's great that you're at home and you're cooking and you're spending time with your family, but you know, that girlfriend time, you know, you need it, you know, time with
virtual wine time.
Yes, virtual wine time, and you know, those are great, but you sometimes just need to wrap your arms around someone that you care about, and see a show and dance on the lawn and drink beer at the Cavelli Center, you know, drink your $15 beer and listen to, you know, the Zach Brown band. You know, that's what you need, and we're not getting that, and we have built all this change to bring people in. And now we have to figure out, how do we keep people engaged long enough to get through this?
Built for the 21st century American workforce, Eastern Gateway Community College has 2 campuses and is a national leader in online learning. EGCC.edu is a digital gateway where 30,000 students are quickly transforming their financial futures through degrees, certificates, transferable credits, and higher paying jobs. And now, residents of the Mahoning Valley can enroll in summer classes for free. It's the EGCC Summer Guarantee. Eastern Gateway. America's new workforce starts here.